Berlin at the edge of war. In the late 1930s, Berlin stood as the beating heart of Nazi Germany, loud with parades, banners, and speeches filled with promises of power and national rebirth. The streets were crowded, the factories worked day and night, and propaganda echoed from every wall. Many citizens believed their country was rising again after years of humiliation following World War I. But beneath this performance of strength, fear and uncertainty quietly spread. At the center of everything stood Adolf Hitler, whose influence over the city was undeniable. From massive rallies to strict laws controlling daily life, Berlin was transformed into both a symbol of national pride and a mechanism of control. The government restricted newspapers, silenced opposition, and demanded loyalty. Jews, political opponents, and other persecuted groups were pushed out of society, arrested, or forced to flee. On September 1, 1939, Germany invaded Poland. 2 days later, Britain and France declared war. Although the fighting began far from Berlin, the city felt the shock immediately. Church bells rang. Radios announced the news repeatedly. People gathered in silence around loudspeakers in public squares. For many, it felt unreal. War had returned to Europe. At first, life in Berlin continued almost normally. Cafes were open, trams ran on time, and cinemas were full. The early German victories created a feeling of confidence. Soldiers marched through the streets as heroes. Families waved flags and believed the war would end quickly. Yet air raid drills became routine, blackout curtains covered every window at night, and food ration cards appeared in every household. As months passed, Berlin changed. The city became a military command center. Trains filled with troops and weapons moved east and west. Hospitals prepared for wounded soldiers. Women replaced men in factories. Children were taught how to react to bombings. The population slowly realized that this war would not be short. By 1940 to 1941, the illusion of safety began to crack. Although Berlin was not yet under heavy attack, the distant sound of air raid sirens from other cities reached the capital through radio reports and rumors. People started to understand that sooner or later, the war would reach their own streets. Berlin, once the stage of proud parades and confident speeches, was now holding its breath. The war had begun far away, but its shadow was already falling over every home, every family, and every future.